What the hell is Abhijit?
Hello.
What?
Hi, how
Hello.
are you?
Very good. How
Ol-
you been doing,
I'm
Catherine?
good, thank
Abhijit's
you.
name is only legitimate
I
son
know,
of
I am the
Ayatollah
only
Khamenei.
legitimate son.
Khushamdeed, Khushamdeed.
So, okay, Abhijit, now that you're here, good. Now you can actually have a conversation with Catherine. So tell me, why do you think it's a problem from an Indian perspective? And
No,
she knows the Indian argument, so it's good. She's very open to it.
I'm gonna argue you today. I'm gonna argue with you. I can't speak anymore. I'm so tired.
Okay. So first, and when Iran was global,
Mm-hmm.
when it was a primary tip of American power in the region, they went on supporting and arming Pakistan.
Mm.
Uh, and it was a time when the Shia Sunni rift had mostly healed.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, well, it hadn't healed, but it was subcutaneous. Let's put it that way. It wasn't out in the open and in your face. So now the great advantage of the Shia Sunni split, which happened, I mean, the re-eruption, was that it hobbled Pakistan, which has about 30% Shias. The
Mm-hmm.
Bhuttos, for example, being a Shia family, there was a lot of violence that started getting, instead of focusing on Kashmir, it got refocused. Parts of it got refocused on killing Shias within Pakistan. It also kept the Shia minority. Now, in India, it's actually the exact opposite of, say, Israel and West Asia. The Shias are very high income, unlike the Sunnis, who are the absolute bottom of the ladder. Uh, we've never had a Shia terror attack in India. The only Shia terror attack we've had was against the Israeli
Yeah.
defense
Yeah.
attaché. Yeah, a few. I think that was in 2013 or 2014 or something like that.
Mm.
Uh, there's only ever been one Shia terrorist that's been caught in Kashmir. And after the 600,000 Kashmiri Pandits got expelled from Kashmir, uh, the Shia started becoming the mukhbirs of the Indian state. To this day, they are seen by the Sunnis as mukhbirs of the Indian state, which is why the Ashura Muharram
Mm.
processions get stoned and weren't allowed to get carried out. Even though Iran restricts the games we play in Afghanistan,
Mm.
we still have some leeway to play games in Afghanistan. That land bridge to Afghanistan is way too important for us.
Mm.
Uh, thankfully, thankfully, uh, of course, I fully accept that capacity matters, intent can change like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Iran has very significant terror capabilities, sub-conventional terror, call it what you want. Uh, can it be channeled this way? Yes, except the socio-economic strata of Indian Shias is very different. Uh, and as long as it doesn't get channeled our way, our interest lies not in a globalized, integrated Iran. It lies in a contained, ostracized,
Mm.
uh, isolated Iran.
But can you look? I appreciate everything that you said, but do you realize that right now you're basing your argument on an Iran being contained? But you understand that the very nature of the regime is to absorb everything. And the only reason they haven't absorbed everything is because they were contained. It's not going to last. If this revolution fell, I don't think it will, but if, and that would be the greatest tragedy, you're going to find yourself with North Korea,
Mm.
where the RGC will take over, maybe the Ayatollah will go, whatever. I mean, he has 2, 3, 4 cancer. The guy doesn't want to die. He's like, Voldemort. He just reinvent himself a bloody snake. Sorry, I'm talking about your father. He's just a horrible human
Yes,
being.
yes. I strongly protest. My beloved daddy, my Aka has been insulted. I demand death penalty
My
for
God, this is the best
evil
podcast ever.
Zionist from the Zionist entity.
Listen, I will read him a Shema Israel when he dies. Okay, it's okay. But look, if the regime gets reinvented into North Korea, I'm sorry to say, India will be in danger. I mean, look, do I need to remind you what is it that they do to religious minorities? And as far as they're concerned, in their theology that is insane, I'm the apostate, you're the apostate, we're all earmarked for death. Or the best option would be slavery.
Yes.
Funny enough, I don't want either. I want to breathe free, and I don't like being told what to do. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm not one to bow. So, the best we could hope for is a good transition. And I think that, look, I think India's doing the right thing, kind of being on the sideline, because I mean, quite frankly, it has nothing to do with you guys.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, it has nothing to do with us either, except that they continue to say death to Israel and death to America. So we kind of get dragged into the story. People think that it's fun for us. It's not. I want to just go. I want to go to the beach in Tel Aviv and have a nice coffee.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Yeah.
be thinking there's a Houthi missile incoming. I need to go in the Mamat now. I don't want
Yeah.
to do that. Unfortunately, it happens. Everybody reopened the shelters today in Israel because they're thinking, okay, here we go again. Because if a mosquito farts in the world, Israel takes it.
Yeah.
I'd like that dynamic to change. And I'm thinking the only way to do that is, for the regime to fall. Be done with it. Let's be done with it already.
So, from an Israeli perspective, I agree with you completely.
But
From an Indian perspective, we don't really care. We've got the madcap lunatic
I get
state
it.
of Canada.
Yeah, but it's
And-
happening. It's happening,
and-
darling. Your daddy's going down.
And this is think of it this way. There's a fellow called Charles Shobraj, who's our biggest, I think, one of our biggest serial killers in India, versus, say, fictional, but we'll pretend Hannibal Lecter is
Okay.
real.
Fun guy.
Um, I have no issues with Hannibal Lecter. He's killing Americans. Right.
I just love your
opening-
perspective on life is amazing. Don't care.
So, what he does in the follow-up to Silence of the Lambs, he opens up Ray Liotta's brains while he's still alive and pushes them with capers and white wine while he's and his own brains while he's still alive. I completely get it. My daddy is like that. But he's not bothering me.
I
He's
get
bothering
that,
you.
but it's gonna come to you. This is the what I'm trying to make you understand. Is that if we don't
But
sorry, my
here's the
cat's coming
point.
to say hello.
Yeah. But you're strong enough to be able to deal with him as and when he comes.
But do you think you will be though? Because look, if they're allowed to grow and fester like a cancer, that they will come to you. It will come to Indian shores, and then what are you going to do?
Let me put it this way. I would still much rather have Saddam Hussein and Muammar Gaddafi than what has come in their stead, which is a breeding ground for far, far worse.
I look, I get that. This is
My
the very
view-
argument that got me to go to Tehran because I was arguing that Saddam Hussein, not that it was a good idea, because he was a horrible human being, but that
But he didn't do
the
anything to me.
vacuum that they
What did his
created
own
at the
people
back of it
do?
was worse.
Yeah. Now, see, my argument is very same. Israel didn't like the fact that Assad fell and who it fell to, because Israel's optimal solution was to maintain the sort of cauldron that was Syria. That was very good for Israel in that sense. For me, it's the same thing. Iran needs to be maintained as a cauldron. No nukes, under no circumstances nukes. Contain, control. I would much rather have the known evil than the unknown evil that will sprout after this.
But do you
Because-
really want to have a known evil that is whose ideology is to annihilate you? Because this is you play with fire.
Abhijit, yeah, so I actually kind of agree with her. So bear me out, Abhijit, over here. I have a few queries with your point of view. Now, see, point number one. See, I read Utpal's piece. In fact, I even share it with Catherine. So I shared the Jerusalem Post piece and this one, both. And what I love about her is she always reads. If I send something, I know Catherine will read it. So here's the thing. Now,
nice.
I love Catherine because she was great friends with my dad. My dad sends you his love. He speaks very highly of you, Catherine.
Oh, sure, that's lovely very much. I mean, I
Yes.
outed him and I talked about his lovely little boys. I'm not sure he likes me very much anymore.
No,
Just
no,
saying.
he still remembers you very fondly. He told me
Send
that
my
he's.
salam. Send my salam.
I will send him. I will send him your salam.
So, Abhijit, the problem with what what I would say our Indian argument is the priors are outdated. Okay, the prior number one, that because the previous Shah was pro-Pakistan, we are somehow assuming that Raza Pehlavi will be. Now,
Yeah.
is that argument based on the assumption that because he'll be an American puppet and America is pro-Pakistan, so he will be pro-Pakistan?
No, no. See, you have to understand. This isn't my assessment. Isn't I use priors because one of the tools we use is to uh, project history forward, which can sometimes be wrong. My issue right now is Iran under the revolutionary regime, so-called revolutionary regime of my beloved father uh, and his father before him, uh, uh, had chosen a strategy of maximum resistance to everyone and everything. They never found somebody that they couldn't piss off. It was so a strategic and a tactical. You're going up against the Americans, then you choose to go up against the USSR, and you choose to go up against China and everybody else. China was supplying Iraq with silkworm missiles. They then started supplying Iran also with silkworm missiles. Iran got pissed off and cut off ties with the only country that was willing to supply it with anything. The only thing the USSR and USA could agree on was that Iran was mad and needed to be contained. And so they both started supplying and helping Saddam Hussein during the Iran Iraq war.
Mm.
I like strategic morons. Uh, if
I'm sorry, but can you write a paper on this? Because,
yes,
the strategy of morons. Let's promote.
yeah, we should. I I can deal with somebody. So, for example, take North Korea.
Mm.
North Korea is a huge problem for
Everybody.
South Korea, Japan. It's even a problem for China. Uh, uh, there isn't anyone. It's not a problem for America as well, since they got ICBMs and things like that. But I can tell you, having been to North Korea, I love North Korea.
You
It
have been
reminds
to North Korea.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've even danced in Kim Il Sung Square, and I've been north to Mount Pektu, where my other dear father was
So is
born.
that is it your uncle related through?
Yeah,
I'm asking.
yeah. See, I was
So I
born
want to
of.
be clear on the family tree. I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, so I don't have a mother. I was born to two fathers. One was Kim Il Sung, and the other was Ayatollah Khamenei. And I was born of. I wasn't born of human interaction.
I
I was
see.
born
I see.
in a rainbow, somewhere between Mount Damvand and Mount Pektu. Uh, and a beautiful rainbow appeared that connected Damvand and Mount Pektu,
I
and I
see.
was born under that rainbow, because if you actually connect Damvand and Mount Pektu between the China and North Korea border and Mount Damvand on near Tehran, you'll see the center point is actually exactly under Madras.
But that is a story. I'm just saying, but you just literally piss off the entire regime by saying those things. So your series over. Now you're gonna have to
No,
do
no,
those
no, no.
down,
They
down
love
like a
me.
machine.
They love me. They love me
I'm
so
sure
much.
they do.
I've danced outside the IRGC headquarters in Tehran,
You did
and
what?
I danced.
Oh, did you? So did I.
Yes. Yeah, and I danced at Persepolis too with a hijabi lady. She also enjoyed it, to a Bollywood dance. I dance. I'm the global
I
dancer
would
of.
love to see that. If you bring Bollywood to Tehran, man, that would
Yeah,
be a show.
Now,
I
now,
did.
see, here's where I would actually agree with Catherine. I think
Ah,
what Catherine is saying is, see, whether an Indian likes it or not, Abhijit, I think Catherine has a point, and I want her to come in and expand on this. Is whether India prefers it or not is a separate point of view, and
mm,
India has a legitimate point of view, in my opinion. Also, the India is like, who gives a shit? That's what India
yeah.
is thinking, right? But what Catherine is saying, and correct me, Catherine, if I'm wrong and if I've misunderstood your point of view. Catherine is saying it's coming, whether you like
Yep.
it or not, it's
Yep.
coming.
That's
So
exactly
see,
what I'm saying. Because
I,
look,
it's
we all have
coming.
opinions.
I
We all
agree.
have opinions. And
No,
look, and they're all fair because we all have bias, obviously. I mean, I'm on the side of Israel, like that. You're on the side of India, obviously. It would be foolish to pretend that, oh, I want the best for you, but we're gonna have to make it work for the both of us, agreed? Now, the situation that we're facing today is not whether or not I want that to happen, although quite frankly, I want Iranians to be free. However that looks like. Seriously, I just want them to be free because it's not fair. I can't want something for myself and not want it for the people that I care about,
I
even
have
though I don't care about.
I have heaps of friends and family in Iran,
Mm.
but if the freedom of Iranians doesn't suit India, their freedom can really go for a hike.
I understand that to a point though, because see, look, because you have to make a way. You can't claim to want something for yourself and deny it for other people because first of all, you're a hypocrite. And also it has a way to come back to come back and haunt you. Because if you allow for darkness to spread in one place, hang on. Listen, do you know what happens with bad apple, good apples? They will turn nasty. So we need to be careful. But I don't understand this desire to protect and to say at some point, look, India is so huge and you have such an economy, you're a powerhouse, okay? Let's not lie. You can absorb a lot of the heat. The region cannot. You don't live you don't exist in a vacuum. And what I want you to consider, and I don't want to teach you anything, but is to tell you change is coming, whether you want it or not, whether you expecting it or not, it's coming anyway. I think it would be a lot more pragmatic and clever on our part to be thinking, okay, this is what we're looking at. How can we make the best out of this impossible situation and make it work for everybody? Because if you don't have a contingency plan saying, well, it looks like the regime will fall, who's that guy
Okay.
over there?
We
What are we going to do
always
with Pakistan? Because Pakistan needs to be dealt with. I
now,
can't
now,
them
now
either.
we always have a contingency plan for everything. The Taliban came back, now they're our best friends, and as far as I'm concerned, they're highly secular feminists within an Afghan cultural context, of
Wow,
course.
that's a very limited spectrum. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
That's like
I personally feel they're the
they're like the Greta Thunberg of the Middle East.
yeah, they're the Greta Thunberg. Yeah. Uh, Gretullah Thunbergul Islam. Gretullah Thunbergul Islam.
That is a
Of
great title. Just tag it. Tag her.
yeah,
She might even take it. That's the most dangerous part.
I know. She might enjoy
I
it.
know,
Thinking, oh
I
my God,
know,
it's such a
she might
such an honor.
but we always have redundancies, even when we start off on a bad foot with them, we turn them into our friends, right? Number one. Number two, with Iran, I think it's let's be very clear, India is not in a position to influence or change anything. We don't have that reach, nor do we have the intent.
But I think you have the reach. You
That
just don't want to
said,
do it. You
no,
can if you wanted to. You could.
no,
You just
not
don't
really.
want.
We can't. We can't. I know we like to claim in public forums that we can. We can't. Uh, 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 we're quite dysfunctional that way. But the one thing I've learned is nothing is ever permanent. It is all
Yes.
perpetual flux. So, for example,
Yes.
let's take Israel. Israel first started off with an existential threat from Jordan, Syria, Egypt. Jordan
Lebanon.
became
Don't forget Lebanon.
Lebanon was never really an existential threat. They're like,
Hezbollah was not exactly fun.
look, Lebanon is more like that piece of shit that sticks out of the dog's ass, which doesn't really come out.
My God.
It really is. It's never really a threat, unlike say
Catherine,
Jordan.
meet my friend Abhijit. He's such a colorful person.
I think you should. I mean, this is the best podcast I've ever been on. This is amazing. I love it. I mean, honestly, this is fun.
You know what? Catherine is always so nice and poised on the podcast.
I
Today
am,
she's
but
like,
like I'm letting go.
today she's
I
like,
mean,
fuck
let
it.
I mean, next time I'm bringing wine with
meeting
me.
This is the Catherine I met in London in a coffee shop.
I know. Listen, okay. So I'm gonna say something. If I introduce my real personality to the rest of the world can't take it. Okay, so I try to be mellow, but this one comes on, and it talks about Ayatollah Khamenei and being related to whoever. Let's go. Okay, so now you're meeting the real Catherine. Pleasure meeting you, honestly. I mean, you are awesome.
Like I said, Catherine, my dad speaks very highly of you.
I
He
know he
misses you.
loves me. He sat on
I
the chair and I
know.
was on the floor. He was such a polite man. He made me feel like a real woman.
I know. Thank you. I shall convey that to him. You know, sorry, where was I? Yeah. First, so Israel started off with three existential threats on three borders: Syria,
Mhm.
Jordan, Egypt. Jordan
Yes.
became kind of less of a threat very quickly. They kind of, let's say, they had a reality check early on. Not exactly.
They
They
also
could
need
resist.
water. That tends
Yeah,
to
they need
calm you
water
down
and
really
things.
quickly.
Then Egypt made peace.
Mm.
Uh, Syria was dealt with, but then the sub-conventional threat became really sharp. I don't think anyone, Egypt, Syria, or Jordan, ever did to Israel what Hezbollah managed to, sorry, what Hamas managed to do on the 7th of
Yeah,
October.
courtesy of Qatar.
Hamas came closer, invaded deeper into Israel than any other country has ever managed to.
No,
On
no,
7th
that's not
October,
true.
they came deeper.
No. Where?
No,
They didn't
they
invade
came,
anything. They came in and came out. Syria
no, but
went
they came
far.
in. They came in. How deep did Syria come in?
Syria came in. They came in. They were not too far from. They were not far. I mean, they were. They were on their way to Tel Aviv. So they went in. I mean, we lost. We lost quite a lot of. No, during the Yom Kippur War, we were in trouble. We
In
were
the
in
Yom
big
Kippur War,
trouble.
they didn't even Yom Kippur War was fought entirely in Golan.
No, no,
They
no,
never
no. The
managed
Syrian got
no, no, no,
in. They got in. They got in
no,
properly.
they never managed to come down into the plains down from the Golan ever, ever.
Yeah, but they got in like several kilometers. Hamas didn't do that.
No, 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 no. They never managed to
Hamas
get in.
spread, but they stayed like within the vicinity of the what they call
No,
the Gaza
so,
pocket.
so they never managed to come down from the Golan Heights ever. Syria was perpetually on the defensive. They never managed to go on the offensive during the Yom Kippur War, or in 67, or in 67. Of course, Israel blew their air force apart, but they never managed to come down. Hamas penetrated deeper than any one of the conventional allies. Then, uh, supported by Qatar, Qatar is that one country which you can't touch in any meaningful way, even though they are extremely problematic. Uh, and the worst part is, they're not morons like the Iranians. They're very clever and
Mm.
calculating, very well resourced, very rich. Nobody will ever criticize them.
Yeah, we should start doing it.
Yeah. And there's Iran. Now, Iran, the entire thing, ring of fire that they had around Israel started collapsing. So I think a new threat will emerge. A new threat that will most probably be even more dangerous. It may not. But Israel has
Why do
never,
you hang on? Why would you assume that there will be another threat? Threat to whom, by the way? Israel again?
because
Why?
Al-Jalani is like a scorpion. Islamists are like scorpions.
Yeah,
You
but
can never, unlike a dog, if you feed a dog, it'll never bite you. A scorpion will always
are
bite
you
you no matter how
talking?
many times you
Hang
feed
on,
it.
but you're talking about Islamic radicalism. That is basically a threat to everybody. So do I need to remind you that your people,
But
just as much as mine, are have been, earmarked for annihilation?
yes,
Now,
but
if you get
but
rid of the Islamic
how many
Republic,
of them? Yeah,
hang on. The
yeah.
Islamic
No, go ahead.
Republic, the ISGC, the other face of the coin is of course the Muslim Brotherhood. Now, we have been living under the fallacy that the two are enemies with each other. I got news for you, it's not true. They work together.
Yes, yes,
ISIS
never been.
is a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
perfect example of that. So
Yes.
to say that if we collapse the regime, another greater enemy will arise, it's not true, because what will happen is that then Qatar will be in trouble because they lost. I mean, you're talking about a regime
They
that has
didn't.
held
Al
the
Jalani is
region
entirely their
hostage.
creation. Al
Hmm?
Jalani is the left testicle of Sultan bin Thani, or Amir bin Thani, or whatever he calls himself. He's literally
It's a puppet.
Abu Bakr al Baghdadi was the right testicle of Al Thani. Al Jalani is the left testicle of Al Thani.
Yes, and
The
also don't forget
position-
Erdogan, because Erdogan in Turkey is playing some dangerous games too. But guess
exactly,
what? The
exactly
Kurds are
right.
very much awake, people.
Now, Erdogan, unfortunately, is also a part of NATO, and nobody can realistically deal with him in the way he needs to be dealt with. I've never seen a greater case for regime change than Erdogan, but he is what he is.
But
Now,
that's the thing, that the revolution in Iran could actually inspire people to just change the whole setup. The region,
I
look, the French and the Brits came on the back of the fall of the Ottoman Empire. They came and decided to carve the region up without understanding that actually your borders means jack shit to people,
yes.
and that you're cutting away things that you don't understand. Thank you very much. Decades later, we're still paying the price for this. I think it's time for a reset,
No,
and
no, no,
it
no,
needs to
no, no.
happen
I think the
organically.
British and French did very well. I thank the British and the French. Had they not screwed up the region so badly, the consequences would be far greater for us.
Okay, I get that, but do you understand that it doesn't work for
Thank
me?
Pico. I thank Sykes Pico. They are also my grandparents. Sykes
Oh
and Pico
God,
are
you
my
have a very interesting tree.